Hello, I'm Dan Verssen.
And I'm Kevin Verssen.
We're here to show you the War of the Worlds prototype. Kevin here.
I'm the lead developer of DVG's newest solitaire game. We're going to be running you through how to set up the base game as well as play a couple of turns. And there are rules to make this game cooperative, but right now we're just showing you the solitaire play.
Awesome, let's get started.
So for the first part of setup, you place the production counters down on their spaces on the tactical board. You place the 12 there, the 8 here, and so on. The next part of setup is placing the handling machines in their chosen spots. Red goes into Bristol, yellow into Wales, and green into Scotland. The next step is placing the germs and colonization counters on the victory point track. These counters represent the victory points that each side has. As the human germs counter advances up, they gain more and more victory points towards 10, at which point they automatically win. At the same time, though, the Martians' colonization counter will also be advancing, getting them the victory. The final thing to place are the production counter markers to tell you how many actual production points you have. To complete setup, we're going to place a wave and a cylinder counter out on the board. To give each game a bit of randomness, we're going to roll a die, and we have custom-made color dies. These have 3 green sides, 2 yellow sides, and 1 red side. We're going to roll first for the placement of the wave, whether it's in Scotland, Wales, or Bristol. Depending on how close it is to London, we'll also gain some extra production points to help us out. With a roll of a green, the first wave is placed in Scotland, and the wave comes with 4 tripods. These tripods are going to be what are devastating your cities, abducting your humans, and attempting to take over London. We then roll on this once more for the placement of the cylinder that the handling machine placed in Bristol, Wales, or Scotland will then attempt to build. So we're going to roll one more time on this chart. With a yellow result, the cylinder is placed in Wales. As the final part of setup for this, because the waves landed in Scotland and have been moving around for a while before I could respond to them, they have destroyed Scotland. We place a destroyed counter there. I will no longer gain the production points from Scotland, and this will move the Martians closer to victory. This completes setup, and I can start turn 1 now. So, start of turn 1, we count up the number of gears on the map to see how many production points we gain. Yellow gears are worth 1 production point, green gears are worth 2, and blue gears are worth 3. Totaling these up, we have a total of 20 production points. So, I take the times 10, put it on the 2 space so that I know that I have a total of 20 production points. Now I can decide to buy units. I'm going to buy 2 units. I'm going to decide to purchase an infantry, placing him in Birmingham, and a cavalry, placing him in Liverpool. I can only place units in zones that have a factory symbol. Each of these guys cost me 10, so I now have 0. We go to the battle phase. As there are no waves in the same zone as an area with a gun, no battles take place. We now go to the devastation phase. Waves devastate the zones that they are in. This zone is already destroyed because this is where the Martians landed, so they do not do devastation this turn. Now we go to the human action phase. Every human unit can perform 1 action, to move as an action or to perform a special ability as an action. So, I'm going to take my infantry, and he is going to perform a move to Wales because on his next turn, infantry can destroy some of the tripods within the cylinder. The cavalry's special ability has to do with battle, and as there are no battles taking place, he doesn't have a special ability and he won't move this turn either. We now total up human victory points. I gain 1 point for every gear that is on the map. As it's been the same from the production phase, I gained a total of 20 points. These counters are just for the prototype, but I gained a total of 20, and as soon as I hit 10, I advanced the germs up to 1. And going up to 20 now, the germs go up to 2. Because I gained 2 victory points, and on the 4 and 6 and 8, the Martians are seeing that they're starting to lose the battle and are going to send in another cylinder filled with tripods. So, we're going to roll to see where the cylinder will land. If it's a green, he lands in Scotland, yellow, Wales, red, Bristol. A yellow, another cylinder will appear in Wales. So, we take the cylinder, place him there, and then place the 4 tripods in the 3. When the handling machine rolls to try to create the waves out of the cylinders, each one of those will get a roll, and on a yellow, it'll be successful. Now we go to the escape phase. There are no refugees on the board, so there's no escaping that's need done. Now we go to the Martian action phase. The waves that are present, which there's only one, can now do things. He is in Scotland and is in a destroyed zone. So his actions, on a green he's going to move, yellow he's going to move, red he's going to move, so he's going to move. He's in Scotland. We're going to roll a die to see if he's going to end up from Scotland to Newcastle, Liverpool, or Liverpool on a green, yellow, red. He rolls a yellow, so he moves into Liverpool. That is his only action. Now we total up their victory points. To start off, we roll a die for every destroyed zone. On a red, this die will turn this destroyed zone into a red weed zone. So we're going to roll. This zone becomes red weed. They would have gotten 2 points towards a victory point if it were destroyed, but because it's red weed, they now gain 6. Plus, if they had eaten any refugees, that would have gained them additional points as well. So, the Martians gain up to 6. Now we get to the assembly phase, what I was talking about a little earlier. In Wales, we have a yellow handling machine with 2 different waves. We're going to roll a die. If the die roll matches the color of the handling machine successfully created that wave. So, rolling for the first cylinder. On a green, nothing happened, he wasn't successful. Now moving on to the second cylinder. He was successful. So, wave number 3 pops up, filled with 4 tripods. This will be a problem in the future. This is the end of turn 1, and now we start back up at turn 2. So, to start off turn 2, we have the production phase. We total up the production based on the gears, just like turn 1, and we gain a total of 20 production points. I'm deciding to spend 15 of those on a cannon that I'm going to place in Birmingham because it has the factory symbol. So the 10 goes away and we have a 5 times 1. We now go to the battle phase. No waves and cannon are in the same zone, so no battle occurs. Now we go to the devastation phase. This is where things get a little interesting. This wave, we're going to start off, is going to attempt to devastate Wales. We're going to roll a die. Based on the player help sheet, if they roll a green, they'll do 1 workforce damage to the zone, rotating the health counter, and spawn 1 refugee. If they roll a yellow, it'll do 2 workforce zone, and if they roll a red, it'll do 2 refugees. Now, all of these numbers are multiplied by the number of tripods in the wave. Wave number 3 has a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 tripods. So whatever these numbers are, we're multiplying them by 4. So, we get a green result. So, 4 workforce damage is done to the zone and 4 refugees pop out. So, 4 workforce damage to the zone actually completely destroys the zone. And 4 refugees come out of this. Now, this isn't good, because with refugees out, if a tripod ends its Martian action phase in the same zone as refugees, the tripod will consume the refugees and gain more points towards victory. That's not good. Then we have tripod wave number 1. which we're going to roll again on the green, yellow, red to see what level of devastation it does. A yellow means that it does 2 points of damage to the zone. So, with there being 4 tripods, it'll do a total of 8 points of damage, completely destroying this zone. So, as you can see, the tides are going to quickly turn of here I am with 2 points and they're at 0, but I mostly gain my points from the gears on the map, and as they destroy more and more zones, they're cutting off the number of points I gain, while themselves getting more points every turn. So, I need to keep this at a nice balance. We then go to the human action phase. Start of the human action phase, I get to move my units. Now, if the refugees outnumber the total gears of that zone, the refugees have overpopulated the zone and will die, giving the Martians points. This zone currently has 0 gears, so I need to get these refugees out of this zone, or else they'll die out of lack of resources, gaining the Martians points. So, I'm going to take 2 refugees, moving them into Birmingham, because Birmingham has a total population of 2. And for Wales, I'm going to move these 2 into Bristol, also a population of 2. So at this point, no zone is overpopulated and the refugees can safely stay there. Now, I'm going to have my infantry try to destroy some of the tripods that are in production that the handling machine is attempting to create. I'm going to roll a die. Their action, if I roll a green, one of the tripods in the wave is destroyed before it even got a chance to move around and devastate. On a yellow, they're still setting up the dynamite and trying to outmaneuver the handling machines. And on a red, they are destroyed because the handling machine found them. So, we're going to roll a die. On a yellow, no effect. Unfortunately, the infantry weren't able to destroy one of the tripods and stop the handling machine. So, I now gain points. I gain points for every gear that's in the zone. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17. I gain a total of 17 points, 3 less than I gained last turn. So, we take this goes all the way up to 10, so I advance my germs, and then this goes to the 7. Still not gaining 2 victory points per turn, now I'm starting to lag behind. Now, we go to the escape phase. If I had refugees in a zone with a harbor, had I purchased a harbor during the production phase, I could have rolled to see if they could leave, gaining me extra points. I did not purchase a harbor, so they can't leave. Now we go to the Martian action phase. This Martian wave is going to roll a die. Because he's in a destroyed zone, he's going to move. He is currently in Liverpool, so on a green he'll go to Leicester, a yellow he'll go to Birmingham, and a red he'll go to Wales. With a yellow result, he goes to Birmingham. This wave is also going to roll. Because he's in a destroyed zone, he's going to move. He's in Wales, so on a green Birmingham, yellow, and red Bristol. Green, he is also going to Birmingham. Now, because there are refugees in the same zone at the end of the Martian action phase, the refugees are immediately gobbled up. So, these 2 refugees were unfortunately eaten. Now, we total up the Martian points. We roll a die for each of these destroyed zones, and on a red, they'll become red weed. So this zone did not become red weed, and that zone did not become red weed. They gain 6 points for red weed and 2 points for destroyed, so get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, plus 2 more for eating 2 points worth of refugees, gaining a total of 12. So, let's just bump them up by 2. They gain 10 and 20. So now the Martians are catching up, and I need to tip the odds in my favor as they keep destroying my zones. Now we get to the assembly phase. This handling machine will attempt to finish assembling this wave. On a yellow, he does. So, This wave is now active as well. This is starting to become a problem. But it's now the end of turn 2, and now we're going to start back up at the top for turn 3. So now we're going to start the battle. To start off, I place my units in any of the green hexes. I'm going to place my cannon as well as a concealment counter. Concealment is used to stop tripods from detecting me and immediately being able to fire at me. Plus, they allow me to shoot once without them knowing where I am. I'm going to place my other cannon in this zone. Now I place the tripods. Because I'm going after wave 1 first, I'm going to place the tripods. I have a yellow, red, blue, and black. Now, I get to choose to purchase battle plans. I don't think the battle's going to go all in my favor, so I'm going to spend 5 production points to get a random battle plan. If I were to choose to spend 10, I could get a chosen one, but as I don't have 10, I'm just going to risk it, spend 5, and get a random battle plan. I get the trap battle plan. The trap battle plan is, on a green result, flip 2 tripods to their damaged side. Now, damaging tripods is really good, as it means they can't perform as many actions and they're not as big of a threat on the battlefield. I'm going to roll and see if it is successful. There we go. A green result. So, I get to choose 2 tripods and flip them to their damaged side. Now the battle starts. The Martians go first. To start off, yellow gets a fire and move down. Now, firing from the tripods as well as firing from the cannons, they can shoot out to range 3. So, he can range 1, 2, 3. He could shoot at one of my cannons. However, my cannon has a level of concealment, so the fire result doesn't actually hit the cannon. Next, he's going to move straight down. Now we have the red. The red result is a move down and to the left. So, he moves down and to the left and would get a chance to shoot, however he is damaged, and therefore can only perform his leftmost action. Now we have blue. Blue gets to do a detect. Detect works the same way as fire, so detect on a range 1, 2, 3. Because it's a range 3, he needs to roll a red result to be successful. If it were range 2, he'd need to roll a yellow result, and range 1, a green result. So, we're going to roll and see if the detect is successful on a red. On a green, unsuccessful. And he cannot fire because he doesn't have the second action as he is damaged. Black is going to move down to the left and do another detect on a 1, 2, 3. Another red result. No detection happened. Now it's my turn. If I choose to shoot, I will reduce my concealment by 1. I could shoot at this yellow tripod on a green result, yellow result from him, and on a green result, yellow result from him. So, they're going to take one more turn. They're going to move down to the left, and he's going to do a detect. So he's going to move down, and he's going to do a detect on a yellow result on this guy. Red result, he is safe. Red is going to fire, but nothing to shoot at. Blue is also going to fire. Black isn't going to do a detect on a green, yellow, red. Roll to detect. He gets a red result, which lowers the concealment of this gun by 1. He now is going to perform a fire action, and he is going to hit and destroy the gun on a red result. On a green, the gun is safe. It's now my turn. I'm deciding it's worth it to go after and shoot at these tripods. So, this gun is going to fire at this tripod on a yellow. If I hit the tripod, he'll flip over to his damaged side. If I hit him one more time, he'll be removed from the battle. So, he'll shoot at the yellow tripod. On a yellow, he succeeds and hits the tripod. I'm now going to pull off this concealment and roll for a green-yellow result from this gun as well. On a red, unfortunately I missed. Now, neither of my guns have concealment and the tripods are coming after me. Yellow does a fire. He's going to hit on a yellow because he's range 2. A green, I'm safe. Red is going to do a detect, but both my guns are revealed. Blue is going to move straight down. Black is going to move down to the left and perform a detect, but both my guns are out. So, I'm going to have this gun fire at blue, attempting to destroy him on a yellow result. He does. Blue is removed from the battle. Now this gun is going to fire at yellow, attempting to remove him from the battle. On a yellow, he does. The tripod is destroyed. Now it's the tripod's turn. Red gets a fire result. He's going to shoot at green, yellow, red at this gun. He's going to roll to shoot and gets a red result, destroying the gun. Guns only have 1 hit point and then they're dead. Tripods have 2. This black tripod isn't going to do a detect, but the gun's already out, and move down. This gun is going to shoot at this tripod with a single roll on a yellow. He misses. Red is going to move down to the left, and that's it. Black is going to move straight down and attempt to fire at that gun on a yellow. On a yellow, the gun is destroyed. Now it's the end of the battle. Both tripods move back to their globes on the strategic map, and we go about the turn as usual. If those guns had survived or killed the tripods, we would then move on to the second battle in that zone. Now, end of the battle phase, I destroyed 2 tripods, blue and yellow, and I gained 5 production points per tripod destroyed. So, this now goes up to here, and I continue the rest of the turn. So, now we go to the devastation phase. Wave 1 is going to devastate Birmingham. We're going to roll a die and see what kind of devastation the wave hits Birmingham with. On a yellow result, the healthy tripod does 2 points of damage, and the damaged tripod does 1 point of damage to the zone. So this zone goes from a 7, 6, 5, 4. It's now a 1 gear producing zone. Not very good. Wave number 3 is then also going to devastate the zone. It has 4 healthy tripods. So we're going to roll a die, and on a green result, 4 healthy tripods inflict 4 damage to the zone, and 4 refugees come out of Birmingham. This destroys the zone, and 4 refugees are placed in this zone now. And then this wave, wave 2, would devastate, but the zone's already destroyed. So, now we go on to the human action phase. I am going to move this infantry into Birmingham. I'm then going to take my refugees, put 2 into Leicester, and 2 into Southampton. I'm going to leave these 2 here because I don't want to overpopulate any zone, and at the beginning of next turn I really need to buy a harbor. The cavalry is also going to move down. Now I total up my points. I gain 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I gain 15 points, and that takes me to here. And I'm now up to 5, but I'm falling behind. Now we go to the escape phase. Unfortunately, I did not buy a harbor, but I really should have, so none of the refugees can escape. Now we go to the Martian action phase. This is where things can get scary. I know that all 3 of these waves are going to move because they're currently in zones that are destroyed. So, starting with wave 1, he's going to roll. He is in Birmingham. On a green and red, he'll go to Southampton. On a yellow, he'll go to Bristol. On a yellow, he goes to Bristol. Wave number 2 is then going to roll from Wales, going to Birmingham, Bristol, Bristol. He's going to Bristol. And then wave number 3, from Birmingham is going to roll, and with a red result, he goes to Southampton. Now, this is bad. The tripods will always try to move towards London, and if London gets destroyed, I automatically lose the game. And so as you can see, as they started up over here and over here, they're slowly making their way towards London. So that was their move. We now calculate their points. We roll for each of these 3 destroyed zones, and on a red result, they'll flip to red weed, starting with the top, working our way down. That zone doesn't. That zone doesn't. That zone doesn't. We got lucky there. So they gain 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus, because there are waves in the same zone as refugees, they eat these 4 refugees. So they picked up 4 plus 6, bringing them up to 10, plus 6 more, bringing them up to 16. So they go up 1, 2, and then go up 10, up to 4. And so now the Martians are really catching up, and at the beginning of turn 4, I really need to get another harbor. I would roll for the assembly phase, but there are currently no cylinders out on the field. So we go back up to the production phase and start the next turn. This has been a look at War of the Worlds, the first couple of turns. As you guys can see, there's a lot of randomness that goes into the game, but a lot of decision making that you can use to minimize the randomness and attempt to take out the tripods before they become a major threat. Thank you very much for watching, and there will be more gameplay videos in the future. I'll see you on Kickstarter.